I am such a cowboy. I will listen to anything. People send me episodes. I get overwhelmed. I'll listen. I am like a very faithful partner, but I am the most slutty podcast listener. I whore around. I am a big old slut. I will love you for like 3 days and then I'll be like, what's your name?
Be happy, 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 happy.
Today, we welcome Broadway star, comedian, podcast host, and social media force, Ellyn Marsh, for a conversation around motherhood, creativity, and embracing the chaos of it all. Ellyn opens up about raising her daughter, now a junior in high school, and gets honest about her own later-in-life ADHD diagnosis and how she is embracing all of her unique gifts that she brings to the world. With her signature humor and honesty, Ellyn reminds us that no parent really knows what they're doing. We are all just guessing. She calls herself a mess with a heart of gold, and her raw vulnerability is hilarious, human, and relatable. We'll also dive into the wild world of parenting in the age of TikTok and how today's teens are more aware, exposed, and mature than ever, for better or for worse. Ellyn is so much fun, and I loved this conversation so much. We know you're going to love it too. Let's dive in with Ellyn.
I really like the pink mic, I have to say.
Can we talk about, are you like 80s, like grow up 80s, or are you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, full on. Yeah. And also, when I lived with my ex-husband, he actually had really great interior design sense, but he was very masculine forward. And so when I went out on my own, I was like, let me just fuck some shit up with some pink. You know what I mean? His style was great. It really was. It just wasn't me. So like my upstairs is very boho. I have wallpaper. This is wallpaper. I have peacock wallpaper upstairs. So I was like, just splattered my vagina everywhere. So nobody can ever question that girls don't live here. My daughter and I say that all the time. We're like, this is a girl's house.
I'm recently divorced and
Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Whenever someone's like, I'm divorced, and I'm like, I'm sorry. You're like, why?
Hey,
if it was good, we'd still be married. So congrats. We need to have more divorce parties. Go on.
I too have a girl pad. I was like, okay, you guys, this is a girl's pad now. Like, yes, that can be your room. Yes, that can be your room. But it's kind of all of our rooms and the whole house. And whenever we have the kids have their friends over for sleepovers, they take over the whole house. And we can do all this girl stuff, girl music. And we can have pink shit everywhere. And it's amazing.
Yeah, y'all have pink couches. It's gotten a little, we're on the fence here. We're teetering towards like an Elwood Stan house.
All your food is pink.
Could you imagine?
Steak.
I'm just sitting here with cotton candy. I'm like, I don't know. Did we start yet?
We're recording already.
Ellyn, I have a question for you. Like, because your daughter's 16.
Yes.
So like, what has the last 16 years as an artist, split mom role of artist, creator, like what has this been like for you? And how do you feel like that's changed before kid? Because this is like the journey of, whoa, all of a sudden, what does that look like now? What does my art look like? And how do I give my time to that? What is that like for you?
I mean, chaos. And there's that thing when you're a young mom and older moms look at you, you're on the subway or something and like your tits are leaking and you're so tired and you look a mess and, they go, oh, cherish it. It goes so fast. And you're like, Brenda, my tits are casting a shadow. Okay. They're so big. I'm wobbling to get out of here with that nonsense. And then you're like, oh shit, Brenda had a point.
Brenda's right.
So that catches up to you where Lola was getting ready for her junior year. And I was like, this is not real, right? I'm in an AI time hump of sorts. Let me know if you guys ever experienced this. I feel like it might have been a handful of years ago where this light bulb went off and I went, oh shit.
Yeah.
My parents didn't know what the hell they were doing either. You all were faking it just like I'm faking it. Because I just felt like one day I would wake up, she turns a month, a year, 4, 5. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be that mom. I'm going to be that mom that meal preps. And I'm going to be that mom that has all the answers and didn't forget to take her to the dentist for a whole year. And all that shit's going to wrap up. No. And the thing that I actually love about social media is normalizing that we're all just fucking guessing.
I love that.
And we wake up and we hope we make a little more right guesses than we did the day before. But if we didn't, we're like, oh, pop an edible, try again tomorrow. And that's something that I kind of had to forgive myself about, because when you're a kid, you think your parents know everything.
Yeah.
And they were even worse off than us because they didn't have the internet and they had, internalized misogyny and all of, and no Korean skincare. Let me tell you. My mom looked 50 when she was 30. Okay.
I mean, they had Mary Kay.
Yeah, Mary Kay, right.
So
I think that I've just kind of done my best to just guess. And about a year ago, Lola and I were in a really hard place. I don't know if you're there yet, Cher. It lasted for about 2 years. It's actually so much better now. We're in a great place now. And I don't think this was the turning point. This is the turning point-ish. But I looked at my daughter and I said, this is my first time being a mom.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't. And I wanted to alleviate her misconception that I have anything figured out. Yeah. And that was, kind of it. And I think that my mom, and, my mom tried her best too. I don't think my mom ever humanized herself to me. And I think that's something that I have unintentionally done, is told my daughter, like, I'm a fucking mess. I have a heart of gold. I try so hard, but I fuck up so much, but I don't mean to, and I think there was something in my daughter that appreciated that. I might be putting that on her, but since we've had those open conversations where I told her, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, I don't know. It's kind of gotten a little better. Do you guys know what the fuck you're doing?
I resonate with that so strongly, Ellyn. With the divorce and with everything going on, I've realized that with my preteens, and now I have a teen, my only way forward is to be vulnerable with them. My child will come with crying with like a major issue. And I'll say to her, listen, I'm not going to be the mom who sits here across the table from you and says, let's just eat dinner and not talk about this. I am going to sit here at your level and say, I get it. And let's talk about it together. And this is a way for us to move forward together. So thank you for sharing that, because I definitely resonate with it.
Kids are so much more mature than we were. And it really is because of the internet. It really is. I always think I want to tell her before she learns about it on TikTok.
Yes.
They are so much more mature, for good and for bad, because they see stuff that they shouldn't, really, honestly. And they get involved in conversations that they don't need to. But in the good, Lola comes to me with questions sometimes. And I was like, did you Google that? Did that come out of your brain? It's just different than when we were young.
I, had to talk to my daughter the other day, my 13-year-old, and we were having this discussion because there's like viral stuff going out there. Girls are like being given these depression tests to take, all this shit. Like, I never thought I would be having these conversations with someone so young, but she's learning about it.
Yeah.
So I have to have this conversation. So yes.
To be honest, though, like growing up, like my experience was like different strokes. Remember that episode where like, and they just put it out there. They're like, here's a half-hour sitcom. And you're just like, wait, I thought I was laughing. What's happening, Willis? Where's Willis? I need Willis. And then, but I never went to my mom and was like, no, explain that. I just had to sit with that shit and figure it out. Now, of course, like my mom would talk to me about things like that separately, but like TV did not give a shit. All of our after-school specials, this was geared towards kids, like that 3:30 after school special, just about like child porn or whatever it was. Yeah. This is the subject matter. And we were supposed to take the hit and then fucking deal with it on your own.
It was so weird that kids will never understand that little, what was the kid's name from Who's the Boss? Danny Pinchot. He's the one who told me not to do crack. I had no idea until he told me. Kids will never. I was like, wait, seriously, Danny? And then I was like, listen, whatever Danny from Who's the Boss says, I'm going to do it. No crack for me, you guys.
Who's the boss? It's Danny.
Wild West.
And he's the boss, the real boss of that family. Fucking come on. No, for real. That was like our TikTok. Just broadcast, just everyone can see it. No, there's no
Exactly.
restricting that. What was on was on. But I wonder, I do wonder if it's like, because now we are also, open about talking to our kids and talking about this kind of stuff, that hopefully we get it before they see it. But there have been things that, like, my older kid brought up that was out in media that I didn't want him to see, certain situations and certain, floating around video wise out there. And he came to me and talked to me about it. He's like, I've seen that video like 20 times. I'm like, how the hell did you see it? He's like, my school chat with my science teacher. Like, just everybody was sharing it on the text chain. I didn't even think to look there. I didn't even think to look that would be a place where that kind of content will be shared, but relevant in politics and relevant in American media, but not relevant over here in Bloomfield, New Jersey. For my middle schoolers, I was not ready for that. But it's not always TikTok.
We didn't know anything about politics when we were kids. I knew who the president was. That was it. We were kids, though.
Right.
We were kids, and we drank from the hose and played outside.
Were we just always dehydrated? We never have water.
I think
bottles.
so.
Were we always dehydrated? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, it circles back to Korean skincare. Yeah, I do think we were always dehydrated. Our skins thirsty, our bodies thirsty.
Okay, so you're talking about, so chaos in the last 16 years has felt very chaotic for a number of reasons. And then does that feel the same in your creative and your artistic life? Like, do you feel like you've had sort of a handle on that, or does that also play into this sort of just fly by the seat of your pants and you're just going to do what comes next?
I kind of have always thrived in the moment. I mean, I was late in life diagnosed with ADHD, which, we can talk about at another time. But because, things just sort of come to me. I mean, people ask me about like inspiration for content creation or inspiration for whatever comes up. And I just say, I don't know. Whenever it comes to me, I just, throw it into motion. And a lot of my ADHD diagnosis was my diagnosis was really transformative in that way.
How old?
As an adult. And I had the full diagnosis. So I had the psychological diagnosis where you sit down with the psychiatrist, but I actually had the whole cognitive testing, the 2-day long cognitive testing, because I really wanted to understand.
Yep.
But I think that my brain just has never stopped. And I thought everyone was like that. I thought everybody has these things and everyone hears a word and it associates with a movie or a song or a Broadway show. And I just thought everyone was like that. And then I started to learn more about what ADHD was really on TikTok. And I was like, oh, yeah, I do that. Oh, yeah, I do that. And then I started diving into it. And, I always hated that about myself, because even you just asking that question, I was like, I don't really have a plan. I have things I want to do and things I want to accomplish and ways in which I go about things, but it really doesn't have any kind of organizational, kind of sense to anyone but me. And so, yeah, I just kind of have always gone with the flow, and it's changed and evolved, especially now being a different kind of creator than I was when I was a Broadway performer. Obviously, the parameters have moved. So life has changed in that way. But I kind of have always not thrived in chaos. I'm making it sound like I'm a mess, and I'm not. I get things done, but I just sort of learned to understand my chaotic brain and kind of realize that that's what makes me special.
100%. That's my life too.
Mm-hmm.
So I really understand that. You ever find this, like, when it finally clicked to me the other day where I was like, oh my gosh, this is why I get so stressed out when I fill out any application to anything. When they say, what's your occupation? I've always gotten so stressed out and I freeze. I'm like, I don't know what to put, because I do a lot of things. I never know, well, what's appropriate to put down. I have like 10 titles because I have so many interests and my ADHD won't let me just pick one. I have to have a bunch. So kind of to your point of like, how can you nail it down?
And they never have badass under any drop-down menu. I've looked.
They should. They really should, at least.
Someone slid into my DMs the other day and was leaving a really nice message about just kind of like understanding my brain and my heart and just my chaos. And she told me this quote, and I'm going to get choked up even saying it. And it's very simple. She just said, the quote is, her chaos is what made her beautiful. And it's so freeing. And, as you age, your fucks, you just leave your fucks behind you and you just kind of chuck them aside. But that is what I hated about myself for so long, was my chaotic brain. Why can't you stop? Why can't you be quiet? Why can't you turn off your brain? Why does everything remind you of something else? Why do you pop up in the middle of the night and write down an idea for a skit or a sketch or something? And it's what I hated about myself. And I think coming to terms with that so late in life, it's just really freeing. That's the nice part about getting old, I guess.
Creative Mamas Unplugged is produced by Breatheasy Productions with music by Jeremy Jurin. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to give my mama 5 stars and keep coming back. Thanks to us kids, there are plenty of stories to tell. And you are not alone.
We are inspired by you. Thank you for joining our Creative Mamas community. Support Creative Mamas Unplugged on Patreon to get your name in the credits, receive extra content, and earn some fun prizes. With this, we can keep creating, uplifting, and growing this incredible community together. We love you so much. Applause.